I'm in the ring here. I'm going to look at my Storm Collectibles Hollywood Hulk Hogan figure. Storm Collectibles isn't kind of a typical brand here, so I'll just kind of go through it with you. Obviously these are extra articulated because they are more expensive figures, so we do have that butterfly style joint along with a lot of the other standard joints and things like the arm. What you're really paying for here is just the tons of accessories and things like headband, the glasses, the necklace, but also just the incredible facial detail here. I mean, this is probably above and beyond any facial printing from a store brand for Hogan here. And then of course the printed clothes, not the best print on there, but details like his rips in the back that he would do. You're not going to get nipples at retail. But you can see more of the joint that... Actually, there's a lot more joint visible, so that could be a problem for some, but did have some alternate hands if you wanted open hands and things like that. A removable weight belt. This torso, some movement. The head doesn't have anything too extra, and plus his hair is going to be in the way. The thing is, with the legs, this kind of crotch and bum piece is soft. It's just kind of like its own piece. It's not really part of the articulation of the figure as far as the hard pieces. So there is a lot of leg motion, but again, it's Hulk Hogan, so he's not exactly the most spry wrestler in the world. My main problem with this is that it needs this belt piece, and then this soft piece just kind of is a floating thing, and you get these gaps that you'll have to try and hide when you're posing it. And it's very hard to get this belt to kind of cover this gap like this. It's not easy to push this through the peg hole, this kind of soft plastic belt. It doesn't want to go in and stay in there. Of course, he has his Hollywood printed on there. You'll notice there's no just straight NWO logos, because that's kind of a copyright of WWE, and this was released outside of the WWE brand. Really good with the boots. He always had his face or something crazy on there. Pretty fun. So solid articulation and the extreme facial printing, and a lot on the attires as well. Plus the accessories. So I showed the glasses, and that has his own stand, Hollywood Hogan. Those alternate hands, and then he even has some feather boas here, which this is going to just get hairs all over my set here, but I gotta show you guys. Oh god, this is just oh, it's molting. But anyway, really nice. You want the feather boa entrance kind of look for Hogan, you got those. My god, they're all over the place. But that's just going to get dusty on your shelf anyway if you're, you know, you're going to play with the Storm Collectibles figure. I hope not, because they're not really meant for play. They're definitely a collector's piece. And then these quote feather boas, which are actually a feather as well. Very fine feather. They're just going to collect dust on the shelf, so I always kind of kept those bagged anyway. Oh, I could just see the feathers flying around. Anywho, typically the Storm Collectibles did characters like from games and stuff. They have a lot of Mortal Kombat, things of that nature. What happened here with the Hulk Hogan was WWE's toy maker Mattel was about to release some Hulk Hogan figures after a long time of not having a deal with them. They were ready to release well, they did release like a red and yellow Hogan, and they were about to do the Hollywood Hulk Hogan from WCW, and then some controversy occurred with Mr. Hogan saying some choice words, and they actually canceled that figure and just stopped making Hulk Hogan figures under the WWE license and everything. So everybody was primed and ready to buy a Hollywood Hogan figure, and there was none available. So Storm Collectibles swooped in and took the sales there. Suckered me into getting it, of course. I like to collect WCW figures of that time period. But ultimately, I don't really like Storm Collectibles figures that much. They do scale pretty well as far as heights with like Mattel figures. You should probably be a little taller than Sting, more so than this, but at least he's not too huge or too small. The main problem here is not so much the height, but just the thickness of parts. That you can see the thickness of the arms and just the size of the heads. This one, the Storm Collectibles has such a huge head compared to some of his wrestling peers here. I mean, here's the Giant, and Hogan has almost a bigger head than him. But again, these are two different brands, so they're not really meant to go together, but you would have to know, making this, the idea was people that collected those Mattel figures were wanting to have a character that didn't have a chance to be made all of a sudden. It was canceled. So he's kind of big. I also had a video on this other Storm Collectibles of Jushin Liger, and you can see that Liger also just kind of has this size body, the same size as Hulk Hogan, so scale not really a big part of what they do there, I guess, in sizes. Liger would be much smaller than Hogan, and these are the same brand, and it's still not the correct sizes. I just kind of wanted to go over this figure and to say my issues with it, like that torso piece and just the size and things like that, and appreciate the accessories, but my gosh, these feathers just fly off here immediately. I'm gonna have to like sweep up here, but I'm doing this because now there is a Mattel Hollywood Hogan figure, so I'll open that up here, check out that video right after this one, and we can compare them up together. But I just wanted to get a look at the Storm Collectibles Hulk Hogan Hollywood Hogan figure on his own. So you can get subscribed here, and I'll see you in the next video, brother. Well, you know something, MBX Films.